Welcome to my video series, Operations Management is for Everyone. My name is Mohammad Ajlouni. I know that many people think of operations and operations management as a pain in the neck. From my experience, I have noticed that operations management is one of the most disliked topics that you would not want to get involved in or learn about unless it was part of your job or your career. As a matter of fact, operations management is the one topic that everyone needs to know about, simply because most of the small tasks that we try to accomplish in our daily lives are in fact different forms of operations. I will give you some examples. A housewife cooking a meal, a mechanic servicing your car, a website processing and delivering an online order, an influencer writing and publishing an article on LinkedIn, a housekeeper cleaning a room in a hotel, and many more examples that we encounter every day. All these are different forms of operations. Now think of examples of a larger scale. Factories that manufacture products, restaurants that provide meals, hospitals that treat sick people, transport companies that move people around, logistics companies that deliver your orders, insurance companies that insure people and assets, theme parks that provide amusement, NGOs that provide humanitarian aid, and I can go on and on and on. All these businesses typically run operations. And I tell you what, their operations are so important to them that their operations management becomes so vital that it could make or break the business. And I can tell you many sad stories of businesses, large and small, product-based and service-based, businesses that failed because they had not paid good attention to their operations. So after going through these examples, let us define operations and operations management. Operations is about creating products and services by transforming some input resources into outputs of products or services or a mix of both. These outputs bring value to their recipients, who are the people who use the products and receive the services. Now, some of these input resources are themselves consumed in the transformation process, such as vegetables and meat that are being physically transformed through cooking into a delicious meal. And there are other input resources that are transforming but do not get consumed in the transformation process, such as the housewife herself, who is doing the job, the cooking pans and the stove, which are the assets necessary to complete the cooking. And then we have the recipe, which is the method needed to be followed throughout the cooking process. A chef at a restaurant is also carrying out very similar operations. However, at a restaurant, a customer also expects not just a tasty meal, but also a certain level of good service, of ambience, cleanliness, politeness, and speed. Now let's go to operations management. Operations management simply is about managing the input resources and the transformation processes efficiently and effectively. By efficiently, we mean to get the best out of the resources and use them in the best way possible. Resources can be expensive and scarce, and we need to use them very, very wisely. And by effectively, we mean to achieve the results or outcomes that we want to achieve. So how do we know that we are running our business efficiently and effectively? We do that by measuring performance and comparing the results against some standards, targets, and most importantly, against the customer's expectations or requirements. There is a plethora of metrics, or sometimes called indicators, that we can use to gauge performance. These metrics allow us to monitor and control our operations. Some metrics, just like the gauges on the car dashboard, allow us to control our operations as we go on. In the car example, it's measuring the speed of the car. And some metrics provide us with information on some performance elements that have already been completed. For example, measuring the distance the car has traveled. Now, the final judgment of our products and services is, of course, left to the recipients or the customer. However, we need to make sure that we deliver what the customer is expecting or has requested. Measuring performance is our means to this end. Operations management is not merely about running, monitoring, and controlling, but it's also about designing and improving operations. An entrepreneur starting up a new business is actually pushing herself around some form or shape of operations. She needs to properly design her business operations before she commences any business transactions. Otherwise, she will fall in the trap of many entrepreneurs who do not pay attention to their operations and operations management and eventually fail to deliver and face big problems. Improving operations is an essential pillar in operations management. This can be the result of a deteriorating performance that needs to be adjusted, or merely a desire to raise the current standards of performance. The term continuous improvement, which we often hear about, is the cornerstone of improving operations. In conclusion, everyone needs to learn and practice operations management to achieve success. The good news is that you do not need to have an MBA to be able to understand operations management. You only need to learn the basics. And there is more good news. That is, the principles of operations management apply to all businesses, regardless of their type or size. Please don't get me wrong, operations management can get very sophisticated as our operations become more complicated. And we sometimes need the help of technology to be able to run our operations efficiently and effectively. Nevertheless, the basic operations management principles and tools are easy to grasp and apply. So, no matter what job you have, whether you are an entrepreneur or have just started a small practice from home, or you have a steady job at any level, if you want to do things better, faster, cheaper, and safer, stay tuned to my upcoming videos to get more insights on operations management. Remember, operations management is for everyone. See you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.